Hey there, everybody. Good to see you. I am Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. Welcome to another masterclass. This is the Love for Life Couples Path Masterclass. Today, I want to show you exactly how to start building a loving relationship that can last a lifetime. Welcome in here. I see chat moving already. Some of you dropping your locations. You know what we do. I love to hear where you guys are from, so drop some locations down there. Where you coming from? I see hello from Peru. Lord of the Rings says in here. Hello from California. I grew up in California. Glad to see you. Welcome from Toronto, Alberta, Canada. Tasmania, says Sandra Sweeney. Glad you're in here. Welcome. Pop in. Let me know. Florida, Michigan, Poland. Danielson, good to see you. Welcome. Hello from the UK. Glad you're here, Demi Finch. All right. From down under. Goldie down under. Oh, okay. Nice. Glad you're here, Jupiter Sun. Aloha from the Big Island, Mina says. Oh, good. Okay. Ohio, Missouri, Germany, 2 a.m. I hope that you got some rest earlier. Otherwise, you're going to be awake late tonight. But glad that you're here. Colorado, San Jose, California. I've been there a couple of times myself. Hi from Wisconsin. Hello, California. Sacramento. I've been to Sacramento many, many times in my life. New Zealand. A lot of people from that area. Glad to have you here. Okay, everybody, thank you. I'm glad that you're here on a Friday night. Glad you're here. If your partner's next to you, this is a couples thing. You don't have to be a couple to be here, but if your partner's with you, would you type we are here or we're here in chat, just so I know how many couples I've got. It's okay if you're not in a couple, or if your partner's not with you, type I am here. I'd love to know I am here, we are here. Let me know. I'd love to know, just so I know how to tailor this tonight and take care of you guys, okay? We are here or I am here. Let me know in the chat. As you're popping and doing that, I have quite a class for you tonight. I want to show you exactly what's happening in your relationship. I want to show you what secure love is supposed to feel like, and I want to help you understand the connection that has been waiting for you. I see some we are here, Cam Shadows, Chuck Stokes, good to see you. Below Standard, that's a heck of a name. We're here, I am here, says Jen. Okay, glad you're here, Jen Tate. We are here. We broke up yesterday. Sorry to hear that, Britt Dot. Maybe tonight will help you understand what to do different next time. That is my hope. We are here. I am here. I'm here. I'm here. We are here. I'm here. My boyfriend works nights. Morgan, it's okay. The replay will be up. He can watch it with you a little bit later. That's a good idea. We are here. We are here. Glad to have you here. I am here from Tolleson, Arizona. Okay, a lot of solos. That's okay. Sometimes your partner is at work. Sometimes they're waiting. Sometimes you begin the work a little ahead of them. But I'm glad that you are here. I'm glad everybody's here. Today, I want to talk to you about this. I do see some couples watching together, which is great, okay? I see some of you watching alone. Totally fine. Hoping that your partner catches the replay. Excellent. Here's what I know from working with over 7,500 people on their attachment. The couples who make it are not the ones who love each other the most. They're the ones who both decide to do the work. They don't have to pick better partners. They stop treating each other like the enemy instead. That's the big change. If you're both here tonight on a Friday night, you've already separated yourselves from the majority of couples out there, because most couples will spend tonight avoiding the real conversation. You're going to spend tonight looking for the answer. Now, some of you are not here because things are bad. You're here because you want to build something extraordinary. You want to go from good to unshakable. That's the same work. Yeah, I love that couples do that. The methodology, though, is the same. And the couples who build intentionally from the start are the ones who never end up in crisis. If you're watching alone, though, and you might be, one person understanding the pattern, it can change the entire dynamic. I've seen it again and again. Now, I want to address the big pink elephant in the room. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Let me be direct about what that means for most of you. You're going to go through the motions, you're going to get dinner, a card, flowers, and underneath it all, something might still feel wrong to you. Maybe you're not fighting, but you're not really connecting either. Valentine's Day is a performance for you, but it really just papers over the missing component that doesn't feel right. It doesn't even have to feel wrong. It just doesn't feel right yet. If you're there, type a 1 in the chat. If you've maybe been feeling like roommates rather than partners. If you're at that stage where the spark is gone. If maybe the trust isn't there. Or if maybe you keep having the same argument on repeat. Just put a 1 in chat for me if you would, please. I would love to see that from you guys. I've got chat here and I've got chat up there. So hit me with it. I'm looking right at you guys. He's out in a snowplow because Canada. Mishy Minks, I hear that loud and clear. I hear that loud and clear. Okay, I see some 1s in the chat. J. Paul, Lord of the Rings, Caprina, Cam Shadows, Autoramus. I see some 1s. Okay. I see it. I see it. A lot of 1s. Jeff King is all of them. All of the above on the menu. Okay. I got you, Jeff. That's perfectly okay. I am really glad that you're here then tonight. That is excellent that you're here. A lot of 1s going in. Tish Long. Good to see you in here. Welcome. Number 1. Okay. Mina Humphreys, Clint LeClaire, Alyssa Marie. A lot of 1s going on. Okay. You are in the right place tonight. I am very glad. I see those. And here's what I've learned from my work. Couples don't fall out of love. You didn't fall out of love. That's not really a thing. I know we say it and we romanticize it, but you don't just fall out of love. Here's what really happens. Your nervous systems stop feeling safe with each other. And that smothers your love. It chokes it off at the source. Look, if a mighty river is flowing and gets blocked and strangles down to a trickle, if that, we don't say, the river just stopped. We say something is blocking that river. That's what I'm here to tell you tonight. We don't fall out of love. Something is blocking that love. And that is nervous systems that don't feel safe with each other. And that changes tonight. Most of you know me. I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. For those of you who are new, welcome. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I have worked with couples on the brink of divorce who transform their marriages in weeks using exactly what I'm about to show you here tonight. I believe this in my heart. There is no such thing as a hopeless relationship as long as both people have even the smallest willingness to do what it takes, even the smallest willingness to trust the other person. If you can believe for even a moment that the other person might actually love you, and if you, for a moment, can choose to be vulnerable and give them something, even if it's a transaction to get something from them, if you, for even a moment, can believe they are capable even of transactions, that's where I believe things can still happen. Tonight, you are here, so I know you believe it too. Now, you may have some doubt. It's probably a good thing. I actually specialize in working with people who have doubt. I specialize in working with people that 5 other therapists have failed to find you the answer. Now, tonight, I'm going to show you some very, very specific things. I want to show you tonight, I got my special thing open here. I am going to show you some really important pieces that I do not want you to miss. So make sure you do not miss tonight. Tonight, I'm going to take you through the exact mechanism that's been running your relationship into the ground and the exact mechanism that rebuilds it also. Because the mechanism that ruins it, when it flips, fixes it. First, tonight, I'm going to show you why you keep having the same fight over and over and what's actually happening beneath the surface. And this is not a communication problem. It's a neurobehavioral programming problem. I will prove this to you tonight. Second, I'm going to walk you through the imprinted family model, the unconscious operating system that's running both on your relationships on autopilot. Both of you are running an autopilot program you don't even know about. You will learn tonight how your childhood installed attachment algorithms that fire before your conscious mind even comes online. This is what's sabotaging you, and you'll see how those algorithms manifest as the specific patterns that are destroying your connection. That's number 2. I got a lot to teach you tonight. Third, I'm going to show you what it actually takes to change, what I call the skills and experiences model. This is what my team and I use. It's the actual neurological mechanism for rewiring attachment at the level of your nervous system. Fourth, I am going to lay out the roadmap, what couples actually do week by week to replace their imprinted family model with an intentional one, and why doing it together gives you an advantage that most couples will never, ever have. It's going to change a lot. Finally, fifth, I'm going to show you what I call the Couples Attachment Breakthrough Intensive, the 8-week guided program that implements everything I teach here tonight. Now, by the end of this masterclass, you will understand your relationship at a deeper level than any therapist has ever explained it to you. Whether you're trying to repair what's broken or build something exceptional from a solid foundation, this is the mechanism that makes it work. And one more thing tonight, for those of you who are here, I'm giving away 3 free spots in my Couples Breakthrough program tonight. 3 people here tonight will win free spots as a couple in my Couples Breakthrough program. Okay? You do have to be here to qualify to win. I will give you details later, so please do not leave. If you stay till the end, there is a special offer for that and a special offer for people who showed up tonight. Not available on my website, not available anywhere. This is a special thing for you guys. I believe in taking care of you. I believe in helping people who show up. I say this, the future belongs to people who show up, and all of you tonight have shown up. So I want to take care of you as well. Okay? I see people saying I would like a free spot. I gotcha. I hear that. Stay till the end. I am here to help you guys. Okay? I want to reward you guys. So let's go through. Tonight, I want to start with something that most couples don't dare to say out loud. Most couples will not say this, but just type yes for me in the chat. If you've thought any of the following things, just put a yes in chat. You don't even have to type the whole thing out. Just say yes. You don't even have to tell me which one it's for. If you have thought we are more like roommates than a couple, put a yes in the chat. Or if you have thought I love them, but I don't feel in love with them anymore, put a yes in chat. If you've thought I don't know if we're going to make it, put a yes in the chat for me. If you have thought, I almost just wish this was over already, put a yes in the chat for me. If you have thought, I love them, but I just can't stand this anymore, put a yes for me in the chat. And if you have thought, how did we get here when we loved each other so much at the start, put a yes in the chat for me. Okay, just put a yes. You don't even have to tell me what it's for. I'm not going to demand it from you guys. I really want to know, okay? I promise it'll be our secret. You don't even have to tell me. Just show me what we're doing, what we're dealing with. Show me how many of you are on target with that tonight. Okay, I see a lot of yes. Oh man, I see a lot of yeses playing through. Okay, I knew we were on target here. Okay, I knew we were on target. Okay. Yes to previous relationships. Okay. Before his affair, yes, we were more like roommates. Oof. Okay. That unfortunately can happen. They can lead right in. Okay. Well, guess what? Tonight, I want to show you exactly how we're going to overcome this. I want you to know, this is the biggest thing I need you to know right now. Okay. I said it before. I'm going to say it deeper now. Love doesn't die. Safety dies. Love gets smothered. When safety dies, love gets smothered. Attachment collapses. And when attachment collapses, it does not look like an explosion. It looks like nothing. No fighting, no connection, no conflict, no intimacy. It's just two people sharing a house, splitting responsibilities, and slowly forgetting why they even chose each other in the first place. And that is not a love problem. That is a nervous system problem. Your brain stops sending the bonding signals to you. Not because love isn't there, but because your nervous system stopped feeling safe enough to bond. And here's the thing that should give you hope. And this is honestly what gives me hope when I work with couples. That's changeable. We can actually make this change on purpose. Once love is lost, it can come back because it's safety that's really the problem. What's happening between you, look, it's not about today, and it's not about your last argument or who forgot to do the dishes or whatever else you might have thought about. It's about two childhood systems colliding inside an adult relationship. Before either one of you could talk, your brains were learning how love works. Your nervous systems were absorbing data from every interaction with your caregivers, and that built you a model of how relationships work. If your caregivers were consistent, your brain learned, hey, love is safe. That's secure attachment. That's wonderful. But if you're like most people, maybe your caregivers instead were unpredictable and your brain learned love is unstable. Chase it or I'm going to lose it. If your caregivers were maybe distant or cold, your brain learned, hey, love is dangerous and lonely. Getting close gets you hurt and disappointed. This model that imprinted in your brain in childhood, this is what we call your imprinted family model. Imprinted family model. Okay, you got me? Imprinted family model. That's an unconscious blueprint of how relationships work. It was encoded in your right hemisphere of your brain. Tap the right side of your brain. In there is where it was encoded in what's called implicit memory, before you even had memory, before you even had words, and it was encoded in your limbic system. Fight, flight, fawn, freeze, before you even had language, before you had conscious memories. It feels like objective reality when it hits because it's all you've ever known. Look, we don't question that gravity pulls things down. We don't question that water is wet. And we also don't question that no one will ever truly love us when we have attachment issues. It's just default. It's running. You have one of these models, and your partner has a different model, and both of them are running right now every single day, unconsciously making your decisions for you. It's closing doors you don't even know are there. Here's what it looks like. When the wife reaches for connection, and his nervous system reads that closeness like an intrusion. Not because she's actually threatening, but because his programming says, hey, someone wants something from me. That means I'm not going to be able to give it without failing them or getting swallowed alive. This is danger. He probably remembers when his mom overwhelmed him with emotions over and over and over, right? That's what we would call avoidant attachment style. He's remembering and responding to being overwhelmed by feelings and thinking it's happening again. Then he pulls away, and her nervous system says, oh no, I'm being abandoned. Her programming says distance and danger. I'm about to be left. I did something wrong. He's mad at me. He's out. Now, neither of you is wrong. You're both reacting to programming that was installed decades ago by people who aren't even in the room with you. Your attachment system fires off in approximately 100 milliseconds. That's 0.1 seconds. 1/10 of a second. Your conscious awareness, where you live, you, the person you think you are, your executive self, your ability to think, to choose, to respond differently, that takes 300 to 500 milliseconds. That's 0.3 to 0.5. That means your attachment algorithm runs on the low road, and it's 3 to 5 times faster than your thinking brain, faster than you can possibly catch it. By the time you realize that you're triggered and activated, your nervous system has already been running its program for 3 to 5 times longer than you've even been aware that it was running. This is why you cannot outthink something that fast. I want you to think about this. You are standing on a train platform, and you get there just in time for the train to be 30 feet down the track, picking up speed. Are you going to run for that train? It's a lot harder to catch that train. I'm going to show you how you can actually be there on time for the train. Be there before the doors close. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. But catching a moving train is very, very difficult. Same thing with your nervous system. You cannot outthink something this fast, but you can rewire it. I would love for you guys to put a 1 in the chat for me right now. Actually, we did 1 earlier. Put a 2 in the chat for me if you have experienced this runaway train feeling. If you've experienced the runaway train nervous system feeling, put a 2 in the chat for me. I'm going to wait and see. I want to see who's actually feeling that. And maybe it's you. Maybe it's your partner. If you've seen your partner go through the runaway train and they don't even catch it, and later they come to you shamefaced and embarrassed and say, I'm sorry I blew up like that. Or maybe it's you apologizing for blowing up like that. Put a 2 in the chat. Okay, see some 2s popping in. Brian says 2. Laura Green, Jen, Britt Dot, relationship coach. There you go. Erica, natively aligned. Leslie Holmescombe. Dr. Paul. Lord of the Rings, Duviel? Loam Duviel. I'll just say Duviel. Good to see you. A history. Tanya? Yes, both, says KH. Okay. There we go. My partner could drive and refuse to let me. There we go. A lot of 2s in here. Okay, so you're feeling it or you've seen it before. Okay, that tells me quite a lot, actually. Tells me we're right on target because there's a way to fix that. Now, let me show you what's actually happening at the chemical level here. And this is crucial. Most people get this very wrong. When you get triggered, cortisol, the stress hormone, floods through your system. Okay? Cortisol goes on and blocks your receptors for oxytocin. That's that bonding hormone. Okay? We'll talk about those in a moment. But that's only part of the story. Okay? You don't just bond through one chemical. You actually really bond through 4 chemicals. Hormones, neurotransmitters, all of them together. Okay? 4 different chemicals pull you to someone. Oxytocin, first, the love and intimacy hormone. This is released through eye contact, touch, presence. It releases when there is no stress, and it makes you feel safe, connected, loved, and a sense of belonging. This says, you are my person. Vasopressin's the other bonding hormone. It's the loyalty and partnership hormone. It's released when you overcome challenges together. You've heard me talk about this one quite a lot here on this channel, but if you're new here, welcome. Surprise. This one's big. This one makes you feel like a team. Men do have more receptors for this hormone, by the way, but women do have receptors too. This creates a us against the world bond. Vasopressin. Now, serotonin is a neurotransmitter that comes along and gives you contentment, fulfillment, satisfaction. It's released when you have a shared vision and purpose and you're marking milestones toward it. This is what makes commitment feel fulfilling rather than restrictive. And then everybody's favorite, dopamine. You've heard me talk a lot about dopamine. You might think I'm against dopamine. I actually think it's quite wonderful, but this is the reward signal in your brain. It's released when you make progress together, do cool things, you experience novelty and excitement. This keeps things alive. It's important, but it shouldn't be the whole meal. Okay, this is seasoning for healthy, secure marriages. Seasoning. It's not the whole course. Now, when cortisol is chronically elevated, your nervous system is stuck in survival mode, and all 4 of these pathways for these chemicals get disrupted in some way. You cannot receive oxytocin through the flood of cortisol because it's blocked. Your vasopressin bonding usually shuts down because you're solving problems alone instead of together. That's a behavioral change, by the way. Serotonin drops because there's no shared vision, just shared stress, and you're probably in your sympathetic nervous system all the time, stress mode, where you can't rest and digest and generate much serotonin, even if you tried. Now, dopamine crashes because nothing feels rewarding anymore. Then you're starving. This is biochemical starvation, by the way, right here. If you've ever said, I feel like I'm starving in this relationship, this is biochemical starvation. Okay? I hope you're understanding this. This is starvation, everybody. Now, this is why you can sit next to someone who loves you and feel completely alone. It is not in your head, it's in your chemistry. Your partner is right there. They might even be offering love, but your brain cannot receive it, even if they were offering it. Here's what makes this really devastating, though, for couples. When one of you gets triggered, it triggers the other person, too. Her cortisol spikes, and she chases. His cortisol spikes, he runs away. His withdrawal triggers more cortisol in her. She pursues harder. He shuts down further, over and over and over. 2 nervous systems locked in a feedback loop, each one making the other one feel less safe, and each one confirming the other one's worst fear. This leaves both of you thinking the same thing. Why won't they just stop? Don't they care about me? That's the next question that comes. Neither of you can stop because it's not a choice. This is a circuit that you're running on. What we have to do is change that. This is called the cortisol trap, though. I want you to start calling this, okay? When you are at home and you're in a relationship and this is happening, this is the cortisol trap. Tell yourself that. Your nervous systems are designed to sync up with each other. When one person's calm, the other one borrows that calm. That's co-regulation. That's how it's supposed to work. But when both of you are dysregulated, you get co-dysregulation. Okay? Co-regulation is taking care of each other and making each other feel better. Optimizing even. It's not dependency. It's optimizing. When both of you are dysregulated, it's co-dysregulation. You spiral down. His cortisol spikes, her mirroring neurons detect it. Her cortisol spikes, his system says, whoa, confirmation, my environment is dangerous. So his cortisol goes higher, hers follows. Your heart rate climbs, your blood pressure goes up, your doctor warns you, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for empathy, problem-solving, perspective, goes offline. And this is really the danger area, you guys, right here. When your frontal lobe and prefrontal cortex are gone, your empathy's gone, your problem solving's gone, your perspective's gone, you are gone. Now you're just two people in survival mode trying to have a conversation about the relationship, but not really. You're yelling statements at each other instead of asking questions. This is where you're not arguing with your partner anymore. You're two reptile brains at war with each other trying to survive. And this isn't just during fights anymore. After a while, your baseline cortisol around each other gets elevated. This is for most couples. They get stuck in the cycle. Your nervous system is running in low-grade threat mode all the time. Your partner walks in the room and you think, oh God, not you again. That means your brain is scanning your partner for danger even when nothing's happening. The way they sigh, their tone, the way they push their food around on the plate with a fork, the way they ask you how your day was, the look on their face when they check their phone, all of it. The brain interprets through a filter. Is this person safe or not? And when your cortisol is already high, the answer is almost always, I'm not safe because of you. Both of you are walking on eggshells because your nervous systems are stuck in survival mode, and you cannot communicate your way out of a cortisol problem. That just doesn't work. Now, I mentioned the imprinted family model, and I want to go through this a little bit deeper because this right here is your actual enemy. Your partner is not your actual enemy, okay? Your partner is not your actual enemy. And Anzi Mofor, I want to thank you for joining the Inner Circle membership, by the way. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Okay? Tonight, I'm going to teach you about the imprinted family model because this is your real enemy, not the person sitting on the couch with you. It's the ghosts in your head. Let me show you what's actually driving all this, okay? Because until you actually see this, you will keep trying to change surface problems while the real problems run underneath. Your relationship, it's not being run by conscious decisions you're really making in the moment. That's why afterward you say, what was I thinking when I said that? Instead, your nervous system is being run by your imprinted family model. And that is an unconscious blueprint of how relationships work that was installed in your brain between ages 0 and 3, before you had language and before you could even form conscious memories that you remember today. Your right hemisphere, the emotional side of your brain, guess what? It was dominant during those years. That means it was processing emotional, nonverbal, and relational information, while your left hemisphere, your logical brain, was not even fully online yet. That's why you can't remember how this was installed. You don't remember choosing to never trust love, but your right brain and your body remember every moment. Here's what that imprinted family model really looks like. Number one is your identity. This is who I have to be in my relationships. Worthy or unworthy, safe or unsafe, right? Hard or cold or soft. This is your identity. This is who I am, okay? Number two is beliefs about other people. This is who other people are. Maybe they're trustworthy, maybe they're untrustworthy. Maybe they're available, maybe they're unavailable. Maybe they're too good for you. Who are they? I hope you guys are writing these down, okay? First is identity. Second is beliefs about others. I learn best when I write things down, so I encourage you guys to write them down too, okay? I encourage you guys to write them down too. Number one is identity. Number two, beliefs about others. Number three is rules. This is how relationships work. This is what gets rewarded. This is what gets punished. You might put needs, love, hugs, intimacy in here, places that get punished. Talking about how you feel, punished. Asking questions, punished. It's a big one. Number four is roles. This is your position in a family system. Either you're a caretaker, are you the scapegoat? Are you the golden child? Are the invisible child? Are you the one that has to just pull through, white-knuckling it and gritting your teeth? Are you the one everyone else relies on and they don't bother working? Are you the one that has to escape from everybody and just stay silent, stay hidden while you do your work? And finally, number five, the emotional norms. What feelings are acceptable and which feelings are forbidden? Okay, those five things, this model with those five pieces was installed through a process called biobehavioral synchrony. Biobehavioral synchrony. When your mother held you, your heart rates synchronized together. Your breathing patterns matched within milliseconds. Your brain waves coordinated. Your mother's nervous system literally programmed yours through touch. Her oxytocin levels predicted your oxytocin levels even years later. The research on this is fascinating. And this is not pop psychology, for anyone skeptical. This is biology, documented science. And here's what nobody tells you. This model does not just sit dormant in you. It determines who you're attracted to later on. It shapes your automatic responses in conflict. It creates your expectations for love, and it drives your parenting patterns. This is why people repeat their parenting mistakes despite swearing that they never will. Now, the really critical piece for my couples who are here tonight, who said, we are here. All of you who are here with somebody, or those of you who have somebody. Okay, very critical piece. You each brought your own imprinted family model into this relationship. Two different operating systems trying to run the same machine together. His model might say, when someone needs something, I'm about to be overwhelmed, so I got to protect myself. Her model might say, when somebody goes quiet, they're about to abandon me. But I need to chase and pursue so they can't. I need to fix it fast. Now, neither model is exactly wrong. Both models worked perfectly in the houses you guys grew up in. They kept you safe as kids, but they are destroying you as adults. And your kids, if you have them or if you want them, they are going to be absorbing your combined models right now. Their nervous systems are calibrating to yours. Their cortisol patterns are shaping their cortisol patterns. Your bonding chemistry, guys, it's building their bonding chemistry. Your chemistry is building theirs. The imprinted family model did not start with you, and if you don't change it, it won't end with you either. But it could end your relationship. Now, one more piece we really have to go into. Okay? Your imprinted family model crystallizes into something very specific that I call attachment algorithms. This is deeper than your attachment style. An algorithm is a core belief operating automatically in your nervous system. It's not a complex chain of logic. It's something very devastatingly simple. There are some actual algorithms that I see running in my clients every single week. I'm going to go through a couple of them right now, okay? Number one, the anxious algorithm. Drop me an anxious in chat if you're feeling brave. Drop me an anxious in chat if you identify with the anxious attachment style. Just let me know. Again, if you're feeling brave. I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but let me know. Put anxious in chat if that's you guys. Okay? Anxious algorithm says, I have to be good. That's it. I have to be good. All the time. Perfect, in fact. If you're a baby in a crib and you know you're only going to get picked up if you behave a certain way, that's the algorithm. If you didn't get straight A's as a kid, you're a failure and a disappointment. If you didn't get a compliment on your cooking or your appearance or how hard you worked, it's not them, it's you. You are not being good enough. And underneath it, your brain is asking, will I ever be enough? And that's a question that never really gets answered. I see some people throwing anxious in the chat. Someone says, so very anxious. Thank you, little freak out. That's a very appropriate name. Hilly Bean, anxious. Anxious, Jupiter Sun, anxious, Brit Dot, anxious, below standards. I feel like she wants to leave. I'm not. I see. I gotcha. A lot of anxious folks in here. Okay, thank you for being honest. I know it takes a lot to stand up and say, I am anxious, because most people want to be invisible when they're anxious. So I got you. Okay, avoidant algorithm next. If you're brave and you're feeling it, and you don't think I'm going to use it against you, put avoidant in the chat if you are avoidant, okay? The avoidant algorithm says, I'm not enough. Now, this is interesting. I'm not enough. The reason avoidant people say I'm not enough is because they say I'm not enough to handle you and everything else right now. I don't have time or capacity for your emotions. Another step usually is this, running underneath the I'm not enough is I resent you for making me feel like I should hate myself. You make me feel like I have to hate myself for not being good enough to take care of you, but that's not my job, and I'm pushing back. Avoidant people, most of them tried to help somebody when they were little, and they failed. They couldn't hold the world together for someone else, and now they feel like they have to go it alone because they can't let anyone rely on them. But they also can't be relied on and be smothered by it. For your safety and theirs, they have to push you away. That's why their brain shuts down and says, I'm busy. Not now. It's a closed loop of self-directed pain that they just can't escape. Okay, a lot of avoidance. Okay, a lot of avoidance in the house. Thank you. Thank you for the honesty, and thank you for the bravery. I appreciate you guys. Anzi Mofor says avoidant. Okay, I gotcha. Can two avoidants attract each other? Rarely, but I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. Below Standard says, wow, yeah, avoidant people. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's not usually driven by hatred of others. It's usually driven by, I couldn't make this work. I couldn't help someone. Disorganized algorithm. Let's try this. Any disorganized in the house, right? I always call out any disorganized people, represent and let me know. First two questions fire simultaneously for disorganized people, and they never get resolved because the questions overlap over and over and over before you can make an answer. First is, do you hate me or do I hate you? Back and forth endlessly. They're in a relationship. Do you hate me or do I hate you? Basically, are you going to abandon me or do I need to run screaming before you can attack me and control me? Back and forth endlessly. Which one of us is going to screw this up? That's why it's so exhausting. There's no single comfort that stops it. Sometimes they lean into intimacy and they say, do you hate me? And they say, no, okay, you love me. And then they pull away and say, well, do I hate you? Do I have to run before you can hurt me? And that takes over. And the teeter-totter back and forth never stops. Throw in the chat, are you disorganized? I see, okay, I got some disorganized. I always do. I see a quiet disorganized, okay. Got you, Jeff King. Okay, quiet disorganized, quiet, highly disorganized. Sandra Sweeney says, been taking my free attachments quiz on my website, huh? My free attachment quiz on the website. Anzi says avoidant and disorganized. So avoidant, leaning mostly disorganized now. I got plenty of clients that way. I hear you. Disorganized type. Okay, the blend of the two. Gotcha. A lot of disorganized in the house. Okay, these algorithms, guys, that we're running here tonight, they are encoded in what's called procedural memory. The same type of memory as riding a bicycle or typing. You can't forget how to ride a bike by thinking about it. You can't forget how to type. You can't forget how to unlock your phone in a swipe. You can only override it with new procedural learning. This is why insight alone does not change attachment. This is why knowing you're anxious and that they're avoidant does not stop a single fight. The algorithm runs on that brain's low road, 100 milliseconds. Remember, your conscious decision to respond differently this time runs on the high road, 300 to 500 milliseconds, 5 times slower. This is like you step out on the platform for the train and say, okay, I'm going to get on board. I need to remember to catch it this time. And you look down the track and it's already 100 feet down the track picking up speed and you're never catching it. That's your algorithm. Now, these don't sit dormant. They activate constantly, generating what we call attachment patterns. Let's go through this. This is going to change the way you guys see your relationships right here. Okay? Give me a yes in chat if this is making sense to you. Okay? Give me a yes. If this is hitting and making sense, give me a yes, please. Okay? Attachment pattern is this. It's your algorithm in action. And it has 4 components. We're going to go through these together. I recommend you write these down. Okay? First is the circuit. The complete pathway from trigger to reaction. This is the whole loop. Okay? It's the same neural networks firing together repeatedly in a closed loop. It's called a circuit because once it starts, it is extremely hard to stop it. Once that train's left the station, you are going to have a hard time dragging it back. Now, number 2, you have something called a trigger. This is the specific stimulus that activates the pattern. It can be an external partner, like your partner sighing, their tone, their silence, one-word texts. They walk in the door and already look miserable. Or it can be internal. Maybe a thought you have, a memory that flashes through, a physical sensation. Some people, when they run up a flight of stairs and start breathing heavy, and now they feel like they're having a panic attack. Very similar. Okay, triggers are very specific to your imprinted model. And I see a lot of yeses. Okay, good. Thank you, you guys. I love to hear that we're on track with that. Okay. And a hell yes. Okay. I appreciate you, Britt Dot. I love the enthusiasm. Yes, makes sense. Got it. Okay, yes. Perfect. Okay, we're on track. Number 3, it's called a state. Now, this is where your nervous system lands. This is fight, flight, fawn, and freeze. Your vagus nerve shifts this. Okay? Your vocal cords change, your body changes posture, your emotional expression shifts, your memory distorts, your logic breaks down, everything shifts with your state. All 6 domains shift simultaneously and automatically. This is you going from rest mode to fight mode. This is you going from happy bonding mode to now it's on mode. Okay? And then number 4 is the reaction. This is the observable behavior that other people see outside of you. Maybe it's pursuing, withdrawing, exploding, shutting down, caretaking, people-pleasing. This is what your partner experiences on the outside. This is what triggers their pattern. So you've got circuit, the loop, trigger, what sets you off, state, the body and your brain shifting, and your reaction, the outside focus, what people see. Okay, that's the sequence running beneath every fight you've ever had. Every silent dinner, every night, lying next to each other, feeling totally alone. When you're sitting on the couch at one end and they're sitting at the other scrolling through their phone and you are too lonely for words, that's what's running. Now, here's the part most people miss. You don't have one attachment pattern. You have hundreds of these. They're manifestations of a handful of core algorithms activated by different triggers on different contexts. Okay, let's go through this. Here's what I mean. You have hundreds of patterns. His shutdown when you bring up finances, that's one pattern. His withdrawal when you cry, that's a different pattern. Same algorithm. Okay, her escalation when he checks his phone again and again, when he checks his phone and smiles, that's a pattern. Her silence after he raises his voice, that's a pattern, same core algorithm, okay? Until you can see the algorithm running underneath the patterns, you will keep playing whack-a-mole with the symptoms. This is what people mostly do in therapy. Well, just stop being upset when he checks his phone. Just tell yourself it's probably fine. No, that does not work. Okay, here's the real part that makes this most heartbreaking for couples. When your pattern fires, you're not arguing with your partner anymore. You are arguing with a ghost in your head. It's the ghost of your parent who dismissed you, the ghost of the caregiver who overwhelmed you. It's the ghost of whoever taught your nervous system that love works this way. That ghost is standing right where your partner is standing, and you are yelling at that ghost through them. So when she says, "Hey, can we talk?" he hears his mother's voice demanding he cater to her feelings and perform on the spot. He goes quiet and shuts down, and she feels her father leaving her when she needed a hug, and she freaks out too. Now, your partner's right there, but your algorithm has replaced them with someone from decades ago. Once you see the ghost, you can choose to talk to the actual person in the room, and that's part of what we're going to do tonight is help you see the ghost instead of seeing your partner, okay? That's one of the most powerful pattern interrupts that there is. Recognizing the person in front of you is not the person who hurt you. This is not about catering or excusing, by the way. This is about actually reacting to the person you love in a way that you can actually make a difference. So why can't you just stop? People ask me this all the time. Adam, why can't I just stop? I know it's wrong. Why can't I just stop? 6 reasons. Okay, and they're all neurological. First reason you can't stop is speed. That pattern fires in 100 milliseconds. Your awareness arrives 300 to 500 milliseconds. Remember, the train's already gone. By the time you know you're triggered, that train's gone. The program has been running 3 to 5 times longer than you've even been conscious of it. It's already doing damage. Number 2, the 6 domains shift simultaneously, the shift of state in your body. When your pattern activates, 6 things change at once. First, your body changes. Your heart rate spikes, your breathing gets shallow, your posture closes, your arms cross, your shoulders hunch, your jaw tightens, your stomach drops, your chest constricts. It's your vagus nerve shifting your entire psychology. Your voice is going to change. The pitch rises when you're anxious. It flattens when you're avoidant. Speed increases, volume shifts. You're either too loud or eerily, uncomfortably quiet. Your vocal cords will physically change the tension based on your nervous system state. Next, your emotional expression changes. Intensity spikes. Maybe you're flooding, maybe you have tears, maybe rage. Feels like it came from nowhere, or it flatlines into numbness and blankness. You either feel everything all at once or nothing at all. Then your memory distorts. You only remember evidence that confirms your algorithm. You'll say something like, "You always do this to me," or "You never listen to me." Your brain is selectively pulling every piece of evidence that proves your pattern is right and filtering out everything that doesn't fit. After this, your logic breaks down. Black and white thinking overtakes at this point. This is hopeless. You don't care about me at all. We should just end this. This is all or nothing conclusions that feel like absolute truth in the moment and look completely unreasonable just an hour later. This is where your social cues begin to shift. You can't read your partner accurately anymore. A neutral face reads as hostile. A sigh reads as contempt. Their checking their phone becomes proof they don't love you anymore. Your brain's interpreting every signal through one filter: danger. Now, all 6 simultaneously before you're even aware of what's happening. All of that fires off. That's the train leaving. Okay, that's number 2. So we've got speed and the 6 domains shifting. Third reason that you can't just stop. This feels like reality. The pattern doesn't just feel like a pattern playing. It's truth. It feels like absolute truth. Your brain doesn't say it feels like he's pulling away. Your brain screams he is pulling away. His brain doesn't say it feels like she's controlling me. His brain says she is being controlling. Your brain presents the algorithm's interpretation as absolute fact that you must respond to, or else. This is where your partner's reaction confirms it, because they pursue, they withdraw, they react to you. And your brain says, see, they are leaving me. They withdraw, you pursue. See, they are overwhelming me. The algorithm is self-fulfilling this way. It's heartbreaking. I hate seeing this in couples. But it's encoded. Number 5, the reason you can't stop is because it's encoded in your procedural memory. You cannot think your way out of procedural memory any more than you can forget how to ride a bike by deciding to. And reason number 6, both of your patterns fire at once. In a couple, you have 2 of these algorithms firing simultaneously in 100 milliseconds each, triggering each other in a feedback loop. This is exponentially harder to catch alone. This is why you failed. This is why you were trying to use this program wrong. Because, honestly, you're trying to use conscious tools on an unconscious process that runs 5 times faster. You're trying to throw a rope and catch that train that's already gone. Okay? This is the problem right here, you guys. This is the problem right here. Will there be a replay? Nikki Coleman says. There will be. There absolutely will be. Lord of the Rings. What was reason number 4? I got it for you. It says your partner's reaction. This was your partner's reaction, guys. Your partner's reaction confirms the loop. They react to you. Because remember, they're kicking off their formula too. The partner reacts, and it confirms it to you. Listen, I can't fault couples when they do this because, again, the trains are leaving, but both trains are leaving in opposite directions. An even better way to say it is both trains are leaving and they're on a collision course. So when you go off, man, you go off. That's what we do. Now, I want to really show you something that's going to give you hope. You cannot outthink that pattern. But here's the magic. You can interrupt the pattern. Okay? A pattern interrupt is the moment you catch the circuit while it's running and create just enough space for a different outcome. Here's what happens when you neurologically create an interrupt. Okay? Here's what happens in your brain. First, cognitively, you shift from the right hemisphere dominance, the emotional reactive section, back to your left hemisphere thinking, logic, reason, and choice. When you interrupt, you get back to your real self. Neurologically, what we're talking about here is your prefrontal cortex coming back online. You regain access to empathy. You get perspective. You get problem solving again. Biologically, your neurochemistry starts to rebalance. Cortisol begins to drop, oxytocin receptors reopen, and you can finally actually bond with the person you love again. And your memory starts to change. The experience gets encoded accurately instead of through the distorted lens of your algorithm. So later, when you try to remember this discussion, you'll remember it accurately. Most people don't want to admit that your memory forms wrong sometimes. Okay? Not all the time, but sometimes. And here's the part that really matters most. Every successful interrupt creates cognitive dissonance with your algorithm. It breaks it down. It's called a disconfirming experience. Your algorithm says distance means abandonment, and when you interrupt the pursuit and create that space on purpose and breathe, and your partner comes back to you, your brain says, whoa, what happened here? That doesn't fit my model. You walked away. That meant abandonment, but you came back even when I didn't chase. What happened? Now, here's the harsh truth. One interrupt is not going to rewrite the algorithm. That's some of you have done one interrupt and it comes back the same next time. So you say, wow, that was hopeless. But listen, 100 interrupts can rewrite your algorithm. Research shows it takes about 59 to 66 days of consistent interrupts and new experiences to begin making new pathways dominant. Okay, that's 2 months. 2 months of consistent interrupts for 2 months, by the way. The old pathway weakens from disuse and the new one strengthens. This is what we call neuroplasticity. Plastic meaning moldable, neuro meaning brain. Moldable brain. This is how attachment actually changes. And the simplest interrupt you can practice tonight is to hold for 5 seconds. I'm going to show you this. You can feel yourself getting activated. You feel the loop start and you hold just for 5 seconds. That's it. You take a deep breath. In through the mouth and out through the nose. In for the mouth, out through the nose. 5 seconds, okay? I call this the short pause protocol. You will activate your prefrontal cortex in 5 seconds. That's where you catch just enough space to choose. The train slows down just enough for you to catch it. 5 seconds is enough to shift from your right brain, the emotional reactive section, to your left brain, logic, language, and choice. 5 seconds is enough to break the circuit. I want you to try it this weekend just with something small, okay? I know it's Valentine's Day, so you got probably plenty of chances coming. Prove to yourself that 5 seconds of breathing can work. Catch the train in 5 seconds, okay? Here's what I need you to understand about that 5-second hold. When you watch couples who've learned this, the second conversation doesn't usually sound like therapy. They're not using perfect I statements or textbook phrasing. They pause, they breathe, and then the difference between the conversation that destroys and the conversation that repairs is the state of the nervous system when they open their mouth after the 5 seconds. Here's the magic, okay? And some of you in here tonight may have done coaching with me, and you know this because we've talked about this. 5 seconds can allow you to become regulated. And here's the change. Regulated people ask questions. Dysregulated people make accusations. That's the big difference. The words don't change the outcome. Okay? The nervous system state changes the outcome. It's not picking your words carefully while you're dysregulated that's going to make things better. It is regulating your nervous system state through 5 seconds of breathing first. Get regulated first, then speak. Regulate, then communicate. In that order. Regulate, then communicate. I would love for you guys to drop that in chat. Regulate, then communicate. Okay? I'm going to type it myself. Regulate, then communicate. There you go. There's me typing it right there, you guys. Regulate, then communicate. That's the order. Some people, Fui says in through the mouth, out through the nose. Some out through the mouth. That's totally fine. Totally fine. But 5 seconds. Regulate, then communicate. Type that in chat for me if you guys would. Regulate, then communicate. There we go. Leslie Holmcomb's doing it. There we go. Regulate, then communicate. Regulate. Okay, a lot of them coming in. Amber, Danble, Jeff King, Fui, Jupiter Sun. Thank you. You are paying close attention. I love it. Regulate, then communicate. That right there is the order. Regulate, then communicate. That is the order that we follow. Order of operations. You remember from school, right? Regulation makes everything happen. Get regulated first, then whatever comes out will probably be close enough. That's the real magic here. You don't have to get it perfect. You got to be close enough, but you have to regulate to get close enough. Now, how do you get those interrupts? How do you build new pathways? We taught you one there, okay? There's 2 things. 2 things to get more interrupts, and they have to work together. This is the core of everything my team and I teach. Okay, first, you need skills. This is top-down conscious capabilities that you're currently missing. And here's what a skill actually is, by the way, at a neurological level. It's a practiced neural pathway that produces reliable output. That's all. It's a practiced pathway that gives you the same outcomes every time, and you know it works. That's stored in your procedural memory, just like your attachment patterns. The difference here is that you have to build these skills on purpose. And skills form in 3 different stages. Stage 1 is cognitive, conscious, it's effortful, it's slow, it's agonizing. This is you trying to remember to say the words. You're using your prefrontal cortex heavily, and it's exhausting. Remember, your prefrontal cortex turns off when you're stressed out, so you have to regulate, then communicate, so you can use new skills you haven't practiced yet. This is usually week 1 of practicing an interrupt. It feels forced, and that's normal. Stage 2 is associative. The skill starts transferring to deeper brain structures. This is faster, but it still does require attention. So you have to regulate, but not quite as hard, and you can use the skill more reliably. Now, stage 3, and I love this one, is autonomous. The skill runs automatically because you're so used to it, your brain loves it. That requires minimal conscious effort. This is where secure attachment responses live in people who grew up with them. These are the specific skills that you're going to have to build together, okay? You have to follow these 3 pathways. Now, here's some specific skills I recommend you learn. First, how to regulate your own nervous system when you feel yourself getting triggered. I just taught you the 5-second pause, which is great, but there are so many more. That is just the very beginning. Next skill you need, how to catch a pattern before it escalates. That's a skill. Turns out it's not luck. Next skill, how to identify which algorithm is running in you. And how to communicate needs without activating your partner's alarm system. And how to stay present when every part of you wants to shut down or blow up. Or how to repair after things don't go as planned so that you still come out as a couple. And skills usually fall into 4 categories that my team and I have tagged. First is regulation skills. This is calming yourself. Second is relational skills. This is connecting with others. The third is cognitive skills. This is awareness and tracking. And fourth is emotional skills. This is feeling and articulating. Now, that's the first part, skills, right? And we talked about this. That lives in your prefrontal cortex, which you have to calm down to be able to use. Very, very important that we remember that. Regulate, communicate after regulating. Regulate, then communicate. This is why you regulate, then communicate. Now, the second part, experiences, are bottom-up corrective events that train your nervous system something new. It reprograms your nervous system. Insecure attachment is based on prediction errors from your childhood running in that loop, remember? An anxious person learned, if I need someone, they won't be there because I'm not good enough. An avoidant person learned, if I'm vulnerable, I'll get hurt by somebody. These predictions feel like facts because they were facts in your childhood, but they don't have to be facts today. New experiences create cognitive dissonance in your brain. Remember? It interrupts. Your brain says, whoa, that wasn't supposed to happen. You walked away. You were supposed to abandon me, but you came back, even though I didn't chase. It starts with tracking different variables. It starts updating the model. One experience creates a small crack, and repeated experiences create an alternate model entirely. Now, at the cellular level, experiences change your brain physically. Immediately, neurotransmitter releases, and that shifts your brain chemistry. Short term, your synapses strengthen over hours or days. And long-term, new synapses form, dendrites grow, myelin thickens on the new pathways. If you've studied brain science, you know what that means. But here's the short version. Your brain physically changes permanently through the experiences you have. And this is measurable on brain scans. So what are the experiences that create this change? Staying present during a hard conversation that doesn't end in a 3-day fight. Asking for what you need and actually being heard. Showing vulnerability and being met with care. Setting a boundary and the relationship actually getting stronger. Having someone stay with you through your anger. Being forgiven after accountability. Each of these moments teaches your nervous system, this person is safe. I can let my guard down. Now, skills are the steering wheel. Experiences are the road. Therapy gives you emotional processing without the road. You understand everything and nothing changes. You can steer, but you've got no traction. A good weekend away gives you the road without the steering wheel. You have a beautiful moment, but you can't recreate it because you're not in Hawaii anymore. You don't know what you did right, and you can't repeat it. Neither alone creates change. Both together, skills and experiences, that's where your attachment actually rewires. That's why I teach skills and experiences, you guys. Is that making sense? If this is making sense, put skills and experiences. I'm going to type it. Skills and experiences. I'm typing it in chat. Skills and experiences. Type that in chat for me if this is making sense. I learn best through typing or writing because it logs it in my brain. The logical left side pulls that language and the linguistics and tags it just a little different. What's funny about things is if you write them down, you usually don't need to see it to remember it because you wrote it down and that made your brain remember it. Skills and experiences. Put that down for me, guys. I want you to remember both because you can't do this with just one. Okay, I see people popping in saying it. Thank you. There we go. There we go. Tanya, the first one. J-Scope is, Danville is next. Amber, Leslie, Jupiter Sun, thank you. Okay. A lot of people are feeling this. You guys are very awake for a Friday night. I love it. Okay. Now, your specific gaps. Let's talk about this. Every insecure attachment style has specific identifiable gaps and skill gaps and experience gaps, both. If you're anxiously attached, you're likely missing these. Number one, self-soothing when your partner's distant. Number two, distress tolerance without external validation. Number three, the ability to give space without interpreting it as abandonment. And number four, impulse control when panic hits. If you're avoidantly attached, you're likely missing these skills. First, emotional vocabulary to even name what you're feeling. Number two, tolerance for closeness without feeling like engulfment. Number three, the ability to stay present during emotional conversations. And number four, vulnerability without interpreting it as a weakness. And if you're disorganized, you're probably missing these. Number one, integrated responses, meaning being able to hold contradictory feelings without panicking or blowing up. Number two is a safety assessment. You can't distinguish safe from dangerous. Regulation of any kind, number three. And number four, stable relationship templates, what they actually need to look like. The experiences you're missing mirror the skills for most people. You've probably never experienced someone staying through your anger. You've never experienced mattering without performing. You've never experienced closeness that didn't come with a cost. You've never experienced repair that actually worked. And these gaps, by the way, are not character flaws. They're things you never had a chance to learn because you never experienced them. Here's the critical piece that couples need to hear tonight, right? Because we're talking to couples here and people in relationships. Your partner has a completely different gap profile than you do. You're missing skills and experiences, and so are they, but they're not the same. His missing experiences are not her missing experiences. His missing skills are not her missing skills. When you map both sets of gaps, you suddenly see the whole picture. Gaps are the problem. And gaps can be filled. Now, I have a program called the Couples ABI. Both of you in that will work together through the skills and experiences assessment. Remember tonight, at the end of this, three of you are going to win a spot in there, right? And I have many more openings for those who don't win those spots. So you can do this work. Make sure you stay till the end. So I want three of you to win that. 3 spots to give away for couples. Okay? But in that ABI, you will both be working through our skills and experiences assessment. This is a comprehensive inventory, 90 attachment skills across 5 layers: awareness, connection, safety, partnership, and parenting, and 76 corrective experiences across 7 domains, from safety and trust to conflict and repair to commitment and partnership. And for each skill, you mark whether you have it or desire it, and you rate how far you are from building it. And for each experience, you mark whether you've had it or need it, and you rate the impact it would have on your life. Under awareness, for example, you rate skills like emotional awareness or noticing when you're getting activated before it takes over. Self-soothing, calming yourself down without needing someone else to do it. Distress tolerance, sitting with uncomfortable feelings without running away, numbing, or exploding. Under connection, asking for what you actually need. Selective vulnerability, choosing wisely who gets access to your deeper self. Presence during intimacy, staying in your body and emotionally connected instead of checking out. Under safety, setting boundaries, holding boundaries when someone pushes back. Repair, taking responsibility when you mess up. There's a lot of skills, you guys, and that's just barely scratching the surface. And for experiences, you'll identify ones you've never had. For example, someone staying through your anger without leaving or retaliating. A vulnerable conversation that actually created a lasting bond for you. Saying no and having it respected immediately. A real rupture followed by genuine repair that made the bond stronger. And when you map both profiles for a couple side by side, you finally see exactly where to focus. And that's what we call your roadmap. There we go. Now, this is how you replace your imprinted family model with an intentional family model. Step one, you have to map your patterns. Each one of you identifies your primary algorithms and the patterns they generate. What are your triggers? What states do you enter? What reactions come out? You document this with brutal honesty. Step two, you map your gaps. Using the skills and experiences framework, each of you creates a personal inventory. The skills column, it has every skill that you're missing. The experiences column, every corrective experience your nervous system is going to need. And you rate each gap by impact. And you circle your top 3 to 5. Okay? You got that? Map your patterns. Identify your algorithms, patterns they generate. Load out your triggers, states that you enter, reactions. Write this all down. Number 2, with the skills and experiences framework, you create your inventory. With the skills you're missing, the experiences you're missing, and you rate each one by the impact. And then you go through and you circle your top 3 to 5. Then you build your shared roadmap together. As a couple, you overlay your maps. Where do your patterns interlock? Where does his attachment trigger her pursuit? Where does his escalation trigger her shutdown? You identify the specific interaction sequences that need to change. And then step 4, you practice your interrupts together. You need to catch that circuit in real time. One of you has to recognize the trigger, just one of you, and you name the state and pause the reaction. And the other one learns to receive that pause without interpreting it through their own algorithm and panicking. This allows you, step 5, to create corrective experiences together as a couple. Every interrupted pattern becomes a corrective experience. You set a pattern, and the other person responds to it with respect instead of escalating. And that allows you, step 6, to rebuild your intentional family model. Remember we talked about the imprinted family model? This is the intentional family model. Clear emotional norms, shared values, respect, safety. This is a model your children and grandchildren can encode instead of the broken one that you got. This is the path from insecure couple to secure couple, and it takes months, not years. Research shows about 2 months of consistent practice for new neural habits to begin forming. The first win, the first time you catch that cycle and interrupt together, that can happen in just weeks. Most couples are shocked that it can happen that fast, but it can. Now, here's what really makes couples different from everybody else who's doing this work. I want to encourage couples out there right now. Okay, last week I know I did a masterclass for people who are doing this work alone. Singles, people with uncooperative partners, I did that for them. And by the way, you're all welcome here tonight. I just want to flag what's different for couples who work together. When you're doing it alone, you have to build internal security without a live practice partner, and that's hard. But when you're doing this together as a couple, you have something most people don't. You have a laboratory, which is great. Every interaction at home is practice. Every conflict's an opportunity. Every repair builds new neural pathways, and you can keep testing together. You don't have to go looking for corrective experiences. They're happening in your kitchen, your bedroom, your car rides, your Tuesday nights, everywhere. And this is what makes it more powerful. When both partners understand this mechanism, you can help each other understand what's really happening in those algorithms. You can notice each other's changing states and help each other re-regulate. You can even go, hey, pause. I feel like we're going up. And when you do this together successfully, it builds vasopressin, that partnership hormone. You're overcoming challenges together, and your brain says, this person's my ally now. They're helping me. When you couple that with a shared vision of a secure legacy for yourself, your kids, your grandkids, everyone around you, you add serotonin, contentment from shared purpose. And then as you make progress together, You get dopamine, that reward for forward movement. Now you're bonding across all 4 chemical domains we talked about. Dopamine, vasopressin, serotonin, and oxytocin, because the other 3 pathways are opening the door for intimate connection. You don't get this without a partner who's ready to do the work. But it does mean that both partners have to be in this to make it work. You have to both understand the mechanism. You have to both be looking at your own patterns and be willing to. That's a completely different skill set than anything you've been taught before. That's what tonight's about. Okay? Here's what this looks like in practice. You sit down with your partner and you say, hey, when you tell me you don't have time for me, I'll be honest, it makes me feel abandoned. And maybe that's not fair to you because you actually don't have time, but that's the feeling that hits me. And underneath that, it makes me feel like I will never be enough. I know that underneath my brain, it's telling me that you're going to leave and I'm going to be unsafe. And that's my circuit. I know that. So when that gets activated, what I really need for you to do, I don't need you to rescue me. I need you to maybe hold my hand while I breathe for 30 seconds. That's it. And then I'll be right there with you. That's all I need. If you can give me 30 seconds and breathing, I can make this work. That's how you recruit a partner. You explain your response, your state, your trigger, and your circuit. You tell them exactly what you need for the interrupt, not to rescue you and cater to you, but just to help you interrupt. I promise you, reasonable partners will see this and say, yeah, I don't want 5 hours of misery, 30 seconds of holding your hand and breathing. If you're going to manage it after that, yes, I can do that for you. The vast majority of partners want to help. They just don't know how. And there is a second skill that couples who do this well use constantly. By the way, I teach this in my coaching. It's called front-loading context. Before a hard conversation even starts, you can tell your partner where your nervous system is. Hey, I know I'm activated right now. I'm probably at 7 out of 10 stress. I want to have this conversation, but I might need a 10-minute break first. Is that okay with you? Can we take 10 minutes to breathe so we have this right? And then when you pause, your partner doesn't spiral and do, are you blaming me? Is this my fault? They know exactly what's happening because you told them in advance. And they say, yes, please take 10 minutes. I will too. Let's breathe. Let's come back ready to have this talk. And then when you come back, you pick up right where you started and you start asking questions instead of making accusations. Front-loading context turns a potential trigger into a corrective experience. And if they know what you're doing, it works even better. Couples who go through this together, oh my gosh, the transformations are incredible. So if you have this advantage of a partner working with you, let me ask you this. Why do you think things haven't worked yet? Well, I'll be precise, okay? I'll be really precise. Couples therapy, right? Maybe you've tried couples therapy. Most people who come to me have been through 2, 3, 4, even 5 couples therapists already. Couples therapy usually asks, how does that make you feel, right? And you talk and you process and you have breakthroughs in a session. Then you go home and you have the exact same fight again, even worse this time, because insight does not equal change. Studies show that roughly 50% of couples drop out of couples therapy by session 3, which is a shame because it's the Hail Mary last attempt most couples try before they give up. Many couples who go through couples therapy, even if they stay, are worse a year later because therapy usually gives you emotional processing without corrective experiences that change your nervous system. I had you guys type skills and experiences earlier. Therapy, at best, gives you skills. No experiences. Skills. Skills. Okay? Now, Anzifor is saying, can you do this alone? Yes, you can. Is it easier with a partner? Yes, it is. I do have a singles attachment breakthrough intensive that's going to be running very soon. If you email us, we can load you in there. But I also have a couples one going because you need very different support based on where you're at. And I want to take care of everybody. The other reason I see a lot of things go missing, communication techniques. They'll tell you, hey, use I statements, practice active listening. It's excellent advice for a calm prefrontal cortex, but as we proved to you tonight, when your cortex floods your system, when your cortisol floods your system, your prefrontal cortex goes offline. The part of your brain that you're retraining that's supposed to magically use those techniques to save you is not available when you actually need it. That's a brain issue. That's your train leaving, guys. We talked about that. This is why skills alone don't help. Knowledge is another problem. You know you're anxious and you know they're avoidant and you can predict exactly what happens in the next fight and you still can't stop it because the algorithm fires on that low road in 100 milliseconds. Remember, the train leaves. Your knowledge lives on the high road. It leaves on the train that you just missed 5 times faster. And then date nights. I hate this one. Most couples therapists will have you start date nights immediately. But guess what? If you're both dysregulated, hurting each other, then you go out on a date and share a meal together, and maybe you get close just enough to get hurt worse next time. This is why couples dates usually wreck a relationship if you haven't fixed the problems yet. You don't date and kiss and sex your way out of a couple's problem. You solve the problem and then rebond. Every one of these approaches targets the wrong system. The train's gone, you guys. All of it's gone. You're using high road tools on a low road problem. The train has left with your suitcase full of skills, and you're standing there on the track saying, what do I do next? Well, your partner's screaming at you and pulling away. Okay? Any couple. If I took them and said, have a conversation with calm nervous systems, and then had them have a conversation with calm nervous systems at 7 out of 10, and then at 3 out of 10, the same couple, the same topic, same words and skills available, the first conversation up at 7 or 8 out of 10, by the way, the research shows has a 96% chance of failure. If your system is 8 or out of 10 and above, 96% chance of failure. The second conversation, though, at 3 out of 10 or 4 out of 10, completely different talk and a completely different relationship. Two different people, two different brains. Nothing changed except the nervous system states. That's how powerful this transformation really is. That's what we have to achieve, okay? Now, changing your attachment is not about understanding each other better. It's really not. It's not about being nicer either. It's not about trying harder. Most of you have tried all that. It's about replacing your imprinted family model with an intentional family model at the neurological level. That means at months 1 and 2, you're identifying your specific patterns and your algorithms. You're learning to recognize the domains that are shifting. You're catching your patterns. Maybe not getting them every time, but the interrupts are happening. They might feel forced and awkward. Most of my couples say this feels really awkward doing it, but you know what? It works. And that's normal. Months 1 and 2. Months 3 and 4, your pattern interrupts become more frequent. New responses still feel very unnatural, but they're working even better. You're successfully interrupting each other's patterns even. You're helping each other. Vasopressin bonding. Months 5 and 6, new patterns are working more often than not. They're starting to feel natural. You're remembering them, even just off the fly, right? It's less cognitive load. That old fight that used to take 3 days now resolves in 20 minutes and it's done. And you look at each other and say, how did that happen? Hard work and love. In months 7 to 12, the second half of the first year, new patterns are largely automatic at this point. Old patterns are rare. Recovery is quick when they do repair, and you start to feel like a team because your nervous systems have reorganized. Suddenly, love and intimacy and sex feels good, and you're remembering that love. And year 2 plus, you have earned secure attachment that's solidifying as a couple. An identity shift has happened from I'm working on security to I am secure. We are secure. And this is not a quick change. I want to tell you it's not overnight. It's a neurological rebuild. But the first win, the first time you catch the cycle and interrupt it together, that can happen in weeks. Every closed loop in your nervous system is an unanswered question from childhood, though. Am I good enough? Will you leave me? Do you hate me? That loop runs because there's never been a proper answer. The breakthrough happens when you finally give yourself a final breakthrough answer. The answer isn't yes, I'm perfect, by the way. The answer is yes, and. Yes, I am good enough, and I need to do more work. Yes, I am angry at you, and I'm going to find a way to not take it out on you. Yes, this is hard, and we are going to figure it out. That yes, and breaks the circuit. The loop finally has a resolution. And once you've done it once, you know how to do it again. That's your breakthrough. I want to be honest with you about what comes after. The full journey to remade secure permanently for life takes 2 to 5 years of active practice. Now, that's not 2 to 5 years in a program. That's 2 to 5 years of practicing what you learn over and over and over and over and over and over, and it feels better every time you do it. But think about that math. You're rewriting 20, 30, 40, 50 years of neurobehavioral programming. Some of my couples come in their 60s, even their 70s, and they got to reprogram it. The return on investment here is the rest of your life. Now, is this really worth it? Is this really worth it? Well, let me tell you about this. Helen told me this. Adam, my husband and I were on the brink of giving up, and this was a last-ditch attempt at fixing things. I didn't think it could be possible to change our dynamic so quickly. but what an incredible difference it has made. Our marriage is happy. We both communicate securely now, and our differences made us stronger instead of tearing us apart. That means everything, guys. On the brink, the last attempt, I hear that so often. Didn't think it was possible. I hear that all the time. Now, their differences made them stronger instead of tearing them apart. And that's what happens when you stop trying to think your way out of a nervous system problem and you start rewiring at the level where their pattern actually lives. I want to do this. Okay? I want to do this because a lot of you are having hope. And that's good. And I want you to hope. I really do. I really want you to have hope. Here's what I want you to understand. Okay? If what you're hearing tonight is clicking, if you're looking at your partner right now and thinking this is exactly what's been happening to us, I want you to take action on that right now. I have the Couples Attachment Breakthrough Intensive, the Couples ABI, starting February 24th. That's about 10 days from now. Okay? This is the 8-week guided program where you take everything I'm teaching you tonight and you both implement it together at a deeper level. That's rewiring your nervous systems to respond to each other with love instead of fear or resentment. Here's the structure. There are 8 weeks in this program, 3 calls every week, live calls for 24 total live calls with me and my coaches and my team. Teaching, practice, integration. Both of you together as a couple in this program, led by me and coaches I've personally trained. What you get is this. First, the Decoding Attachment Styles course so that you both understand the full framework, the imprinted family model, the algorithms, the patterns, the circuit, the trigger, the state, the reaction, the skills and experiences model, the gap mapping, and so much more. You get those 24 live calls with me and my team, corrective experiences there, not just information. You practice regulating together in real time. You stay present during a hard moment and nothing bad happens to you. That's a corrective experience. 3 times a week for 8 weeks. Then you get a shared framework, the same language, the same map, the same team. You finally understand each other and what you're trying to do. You see the other person working hard and they see you. And when she says, I'm flooding, he knows what it means. When he says, I need a minute, she knows it's not abandonment. Even just going through the program together can change that. Now, you also get a community of other couples working alongside you. Vasopressin bonding through shared challenge and checking in, being able to say, is this normal? The is this normal messages I get from couples doing this work. It's fantastic. And I'm glad to be able to be here with them. Here's what's really good. Okay? Right now, the Couples ABI, it's 60% off. 60% off on my website, but you showed up tonight. Some of you brought your partner on a Friday night. And that means a lot. So for everyone here tonight, I want to say this. You're getting an additional 24% off on top of the 60%. Let's look at that for a moment, okay? Let's look at that really for a moment. 60% off with an additional 20% off. I saw someone say, right? It's tough and the funds are tight. It'd be helpful if those with the funds can access real need. Hey, real help. Guess what? This is possible. 20% off on top of 60%. That's significant savings on a program that can change your entire family line. That discount is available for anyone watching tonight or replaying before midnight tonight Pacific time. Midnight Pacific. It's not available anywhere else. Now, the link for that is pinned right now in the chat. I just dropped it. There it is. Pinned at the top of the chat. That discount is for anyone watching tonight, you guys. For all the couples out there who said, Adam, I don't know if I can make this work. Adam, my money's tight. Adam, I want to save my marriage, but I just don't know if we can afford it. Guess what? There you go. Here's the thing. The link is pinned in the chat. You click that link. You go through a very quick application. Takes just a couple minutes. My team will reach out to walk you through next steps. There's a code you can use. It's couples20. Couples20, all run together. Okay, couples20. That's the code to use. Couples20. Make sure you use that code, you guys. Again, I love love, and I love marriage, and I love families, and I want people to be together. So stay with me. I have a lot more to show you. But if you both know this is for you, click that link now and fill out an application while you're watching, okay? Now, I also want to say this. If you have kids, I need to talk to you about something very difficult. If you have them or if you want kids someday, this is a non-negotiable piece of information. Your children's nervous systems are calibrating to yours right now. Not from what you tell them, it's from what they see, what they feel, what they hear. They see how you handle conflict, whether you repair or go silent, whether the house feels safe or tense. And they're not just watching, they are encoding in their brains. Their imprinted family model is being built right now from your relationship in real time. Research shows that parents' oxytocin levels predict their children's oxytocin levels years later. Through biobehavioral synchrony, the same process that programmed your attachment, your bonding chemistry is literally shaping theirs. When your cortisol is elevated all the time, when your house runs on low-grade tension, your children's cortisol systems calibrate to that baseline. Their nervous system learns this is how much stress love involves. Your attachment algorithm did not start with you, people. It came from your parents who got it from theirs, and theirs. If you don't change, your daughter will choose a partner the way you chose each other. Your son will shut down the way his father shuts down. Your kids will fight the way you fight, unless you break that cycle. Now, drop me a 1 in chat if you're ready to change. Put a 1 in chat if you're ready to change. Okay? Just put a 1. Put a 1 in chat if you are ready to change. I'm going to wait just a moment because I want to see which ones are. The pressure's on. Which ones of you are ready to change tonight? Which one of you are done with waiting? Which one of you are done with the patterns and the repeating and the endless cycling? Okay, there's some ones. Jesse, first one over the line. Jesse. Gaudia. Hilly Bean. Danville. Reki. Caprina Root. Brian. Eden. A lot of you. It's flooding through. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. And I mean that. Thank you for being ready to change for a better world. Because your children and your children's children need you. Now, for those of you who are ready to change, we have a word. We have a name. Here's what I see when I look at you guys, okay? 2 people, 2 couples, or maybe by yourself, who inherited an imprinted family model that doesn't belong to you. Algorithms installed without your consent. Patterns that have been running on autopilot, destroying your connection, and neither of you understood why. But you noticed that, and here you are tonight, willing to look at it. I have a name for you guys, a good name, pattern breakers. You're not just trying to save your marriage, you're trying to change what gets passed down. You're breaking the pattern. And when you break the pattern together, you replace your imprinted family model with an intentional family model, and you break it for everyone who comes after you. Your kids inherit something different. Their kids inherit something different. One couple becoming secure does not change one marriage. It changes a whole family line. That's what's at stake. I want you guys to do this. I learn best and I remember best through typing. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to type in chat. I am a pattern breaker. I am a pattern breaker. If you are a pattern breaker, type that in chat for me. I want you to hold on to that. I am a pattern breaker. Which one of you feels like a pattern breaker? I know I am one. I changed my attachment 20 years ago. Who here's a pattern breaker? I am a pattern breaker. I love that. Thank you, Jesse. I'm a pattern breaker, says In Love with Love. I love that name. I'm a pattern breaker, says Raki. Leslie Holmgo. I'm a pattern breaker. Pattern breaker. Pattern breaker. There we go. Here we go. Here's the flood. You guys are wide awake on this Friday night. I love that. Even late at night. I am a pattern breaker. I'm glad you are. We are pattern breakers. Ah, J. Paul. There we are. There we are. I like that. I like that. Very good. Now, what's possible when this changes? Melissa. I have a longer quote over here. Melissa told me this. Adam, after 7 years of my husband shutting down during every important conversation, I finally have the tools that actually work. And here's the part that's up there. Last night, he told me things he's never shared with anyone, even his therapist. That was what Melissa felt. 7 years of hitting a wall. And it wasn't because she didn't try. It wasn't because he didn't care either. It was because their nervous systems were locked in a death spiral. But when their nervous systems finally felt safe enough to have that conversation, they found real love. That's the power of working at the correct level, you guys. Now, I want to be real about this. Let me give you some numbers. Number one, the average couple spends $3,000 to $5,000 a year on therapy. That does not even address your nervous system, as we talked about. $3,000 to $5,000 per year on therapy that doesn't work. How many years have you been doing that? If you do 10 years of therapy, that is $50,000. Number two, the average divorce now costs between $25,000 and $100,000. That does not include ripping apart your retirement fund, by the way. That's just the legal fees. That does not include splitting the house, selling your house and living somewhere new, the separate living, the impact on your kids, starting over. Doesn't include the moving, the emotional heartache. And number three, I want to give you tonight, neural pathways work like trails in a forest. Every day that you don't address this problem, the pattern gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Every uninterrupted fight practice is different, right? Every silent dinner is practice. Every fight that goes through is practice. You're not staying stuck. You're getting more stuck. And your kids are one day deeper into encoding that pattern too. The couple who waits another year doesn't have the same problem. They've got a harder problem to deal with. That's the harsh truth. Now, I hear this one a lot. Some of you thinking, Adam, listen, we've tried everything already. We've tried everything, Adam. Let me push back gently here on this. Have you tried something that addresses both your nervous systems at the same time? Not something just adapted from individual therapy, but something designed for two interlocking nervous systems and patterns. Have you tried something that actually targets the algorithm and not just the behavior? Have you tried something that works at the level of procedural memory and not just conscious understanding? Have you tried something that catches the train before it leaves? Have you tried something where both of you map your imprinted family models, you identify your specific algorithms, you learn to catch your patterns across all 6 domains, and you build corrective experiences together with a structured methodology? I bet you have not. Because most couples have not. Most couples have not. And not for lack of effort. Most couples are trying as hard as they can. Most of the time this doesn't work because couples lacked the correct tools that were aimed at the right problem. They're using high road tools on a low road problem. They're trying to catch the train after it's left. That's what my couples ABI changes. Now, maybe you're thinking this. Adam, you don't understand how bad it's gotten for us. I've worked with couples who haven't had a real conversation in years. I've worked with couples who haven't had sex in 10 years. I've worked with couples sleeping in separate bedrooms, couples who've already called lawyers, and they still turn it around. Not all of them. I'll be straight with you. Some couples come to me and the damage is too deep, and one person has already made the decision to leave, and they're done. If you've already permanently made that decision, that's a different story. But the couples who are both willing to show up, I've never seen a willing couple fail to make progress. Only the couples who weren't willing to even treat each other like human beings. Listen, your brain was designed to change. Neuroplasticity, it's not a rare gift. It's how the human brain functions. People can rewire their attachment in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even their 70s. I've watched it happen personally. Research shows it's 58 to 63 days of consistent practice to shift your deep patterns. That is not a lifetime. That's 2 months. So that voice telling you it's too late is your algorithm talking. That's the part of you that's been hurt before and doesn't want to risk hoping. That's not your friend, by the way. That's your programming, and your programming can and should be changed. Let me define what you're building toward here. Secure does not mean you're going to never, ever fight, by the way. Every couple fights. Secure couples fight differently. Secure does not mean you never get triggered. I'd have to address that one. It means you recover faster, and you don't burn the house down in the process. Secure means you can disagree without it feeling like the end of the world. You can ask for what you need without apologizing for having needs. You can give each other space without feeling like abandonment. You can come back to each other after a rupture and actually repair. Not just move on, but repair. Two people who feel safe enough to be with each other, to be honest and vulnerable and come back every time, that's secure. Not perfect, not conflict-free, not a fairy tale. It's a partnership built on real safety. That's what's available to you here. I want you to imagine a year from now. Both you and your partner catch a trigger before it becomes a fight. One of you actually names it out loud. The other one laughs a little bit and knows exactly what to do. And the problem resolves in 20 minutes. No yelling, no shutdown, and no 3-day silence. And here's what's even better. Your kids see this. They see mom and dad disagree and come back to each other and laugh. They see repair happen in real time. They see what secure love actually looks like. Now, 5 years from now, your relationship's something you're proud of. You've built it together. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Now your daughter watches how her dad treats her mom and becomes that woman in her future. That becomes her standard for how men should treat her in a good way. Your son watches how his mom handles conflict, and that becomes his model for how a good girlfriend and wife will treat him. That's the inheritance that you're building here. That's the intentional family model replacing the imprinted one. One couple becoming secure changes a whole family for generations. I want you guys to do this. Type, I want that, if that's what you're here for. Just go ahead, type, I want that. And I'm making you do this because it's important to be able to say, I want something. Many of you are afraid to say what you want. Many of you are afraid to be able to say what you actually want. Now, I want you to really think about this. Okay? Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I see a lot of you saying, I want that. I love that. Beautiful. See, I want that is an important statement to be able to say, both to yourself and to your partner. There's a lot of people saying, I want that. Excellent. I want that bad. There you go, below standard. That is perfect. Okay. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Okay, millions of people are going to perform love. That means flowers, chocolates, Instagram posts. Then they'll go home, they'll have the same fight or worse, and they'll say nothing at all. Nothing at all. That's not love. That's performance. Here's what you are going to do instead. First, you're going to stop performing love, and you're going to start building a foundation that actually makes love work. You're going to stop waiting for things to get better on their own, and you're going to start giving both of your nervous systems what they actually need. That is what pattern breakers do. So if you tonight said, I'm a pattern breaker, let's prove it. Let's prove it in a good way, in a very good way, in fact. Here's exactly what 8 weeks in the program can look like, what you do and what you accomplish. Weeks 1 to 2 is decoding. First, you both learn the full imprinted family model framework. You map your individual algorithms, you identify your specific patterns, the circuit, the trigger, the state, the reaction for each one of you. You map your interlocking cycles next, where his pattern triggers hers, where hers triggers him. And by the end of week 2, you both see the machine ruining and running your relationship, clearly and specifically. That means no more guessing. In weeks 3 to 4, together with me and my team, you'll interrupt. This means you learn to catch the trigger before the fight escalates. You catch the train before it's leaving. You practice pattern interrupts across all 6 domains. You learn the moment one of you starts to flood and what to do next. And by the end of week 4, you've interrupted that cycle in real time at least once. That first win is everything for you. In weeks 5 to 6, you build. You map your specific skills and experiences gap, both individually and as a couple. You build the specific skills that your relationship has been missing. That's regulation, that's repair, needs communication, boundary setting, whatever your gap profile requires. And you start building corrective experiences intentionally. By the end of week 6, that old fight that lasted 3 days should now be resolving very, very differently. And week 7 to 8, this is design. You build your intentional family model together. It's a shared vision, shared values, defined roles, clear emotional norms. This is a legacy model, not a reaction to your childhood anymore. You leave with a roadmap for the next 6 to 12 months. By the end of week 8, you feel like a team, not opponents, not roommates. Your partner's building something on purpose. Now, here's what's included. 24 live calls over 8 weeks. Those are corrective experiences, not lectures, by the way. Not lecturing endlessly, but corrective experiences. Number 2 is Decoding Attachment Styles course, my full methodology that you can watch again and again. Number 3 is a shared framework and language between both partners. And finally, a community of couples on the same path. Now, couples where both partners are willing to work together and look at their problems, that's who this is for. It's for couples who are on a structured methodology, not just open-ended processing, but real methodology with structure. This program is for couples who are done managing and ready to build something together. It's for couples who understand this is real work and they're willing to do it. Now, I will warn you, this program is not for couples where one person's here to prove the other is the problem. This is not for people who are just looking for a quick fix without doing any work. And it is not for couples where they're not willing to be honest about their own patterns. If you're just blaming each other, this does not work. Here's how this does work, though. Click the pinned link. It's a very quick application. My team reaches out. Onboarding happens if you're a good fit for the team. Success can look like catching your cycle before it escalates, catching that train before it leaves, repairing in minutes and not days, your partner feeling safe with you and you feeling safe with them, your kids seeing a different model of love, and having a clear roadmap forward that you built together. Now, I want us to do this, okay? I get this a lot. What if only one of us is ready? I want to address something that you might be thinking right now. Adam, what if my partner isn't as invested as I am? What if I'm the only one who does all the work? Here's what I've learned. It doesn't really matter who starts. It matters that someone starts. One person changing their patterns can change the entire dynamic. So when you stop reacting to their algorithm, the cycle can't run with just one participant anymore. In my experience, when one partner starts showing up differently, the other usually follows because the dynamic finally feels different. And different usually feels like possibility. But let me be very clear. That's how things begin. One person can open a door, but you both have to walk through it. Long-term repair does require both nervous systems learning safety. Eventually, both of you will need to do this work. I want to say this. Look at your partner. Look at them right now. We are pattern breakers. I want you to look at your partner in the eyes. This will feel silly. Did you know when you look your partner in the eye, you release oxytocin? Did you know that feels awkward and uncomfortable to avoidant people? Did you know it feels almost like a drug to anxious people? Anxious people love eye contact. Avoidant people, it makes them squirm. Look each other in the eye and say this. We are pattern breakers. Then do me a favor. Type that in the chat. Okay? Information fades, you guys. Information fades. You're going to forget most of what I said tonight by next week. That's how brains work. But decisions made stick longer, especially decisions made together. So say this, we are pattern breakers. If your partner's next to you, look at them, not the screen, look at them. We are pattern breakers. Then I want you to type this in the chat. Okay? We are pattern breakers. We are pattern breakers. I love it. You're typing it in the chat. Perfect. We are pattern breakers. That's the game. I love that. Shared identity is the beginning of everything. I see a lot of you typing it. That's a commitment to each other, by the way. I've been married for 17 years. My wife and I, our wedding anniversary is coming up in just a few days. You can hear my voice. It's a good memory. I'm looking forward to it very much. But a shared identity and a commitment to each other means everything. When I look my wife in the eyes today, I remember the oath I made to her 17 years ago. I remember the vows I gave her. They are just as important today as they were back then. The moment I made those vows, they are just as important, if not more important today. The vow you just made to each other, we are pattern breakers, that's an oath. And that's a commitment. I hope you mean it. Now, my intensive. This Valentine's Day, I really need you guys to stop performing love. If you're serious about attachment, you're serious about that vow you just made, Stop performing and start building the marriage you actually want together. My Couples Attachment Breakthrough Intensive does start on February 24th. The link for it's pinned in the chat. Click it, fill out the application. My team will walk you through everything. If you're watching tonight or replaying before midnight Pacific time, the discount code is couples20. It's 60% off with an additional 20% off. This should be accessible for everybody. If you're ready to stop understanding your patterns and start interrupting them together, and if you're done watching your relationship and marriage slowly fade, if you're ready to become pattern breakers like you just swore to each other, open a new tab, click that pinned link, get going. Start your application. Now, for the giveaway, I want to say this really quick, okay? I want to say this before I get to the giveaway, because I'm going to get to it right now. You did not fall out of love. Remember I said that at the beginning? You didn't fall out of love any more than a river just stops. You didn't fall out of love. Your nervous system stopped feeling safe with each other. And that can be rebuilt. It will be rebuilt. It will be rebuilt. Now, for the giveaway, I want you to email support@adamlanesmith.com. Okay? To enter the giveaway, support@adamlanesmith.com. I want you to put in the subject line, here it is right here, in the subject line, couples giveaway. I want you to put couples giveaway in the subject line. Very important. And then tell me about your relationship. Just tell me what you're looking to achieve. Tell me the ownership you're willing to take, the vision you're committed to building. Just tell me about you as a couple. Okay, I'm reading everything. 3 couples will win tonight. Everyone else gets the discount. Support@adamlanesmith.com. Put couples giveaway in the subject line. Give me your transformation goals. 3 couples are going to win a free spot in the Couples ABI. I will announce the winners tomorrow morning. Make sure you send that, okay? Don't miss it. Now, I want to say this. You made a decision tonight. Some of you made that decision together. You chose to look at your patterns instead of blaming each other. You chose marriage, you chose your kids' future, you chose your legacy. That's what pattern breakers really do. And you didn't fall out of love. Your nervous system stopped feeling safe with each other. That can be rebuilt. That Couples ABI link is pinned in the chat. So if you're ready, click it now. And if the intensive isn't the right step for you right now, I don't want you to leave here with nothing. Our Love for Life sale is running right now. Okay, for Valentine's Day, we have our Love for Life sale. Every program we offer is discounted. Courses, assessments, coaching, all of it. And the more you bundle, the more you save. You can stack multiple programs together and the discounts get deeper. Plus, you unlock free gifts on top of it. Okay? I don't want you to miss out on that. Whether it's the Decoding Attachment Styles course to start understanding each other and what's running your relationship, or an assessment to map your goals, or coaching to get hands-on support, there's a path at every level. It's all on my website, adamlanesmith.com. Find the path that fits where you are right now. But whatever you choose, don't leave tonight and do nothing. The patterns don't pause because you learned about them. They keep running. You need to be taking care of each other. Now, I'm going to put the giveaway back up on the screen one more time. Make sure you email support@adamlanesmith.com. Support@adamlanesmith.com. Put the subject line, couples giveaway, very important, and type out your transformation goals. I need to see what you're doing. Send that in. That's all. That's how you enter the giveaway. And if you do that, I'll be there and I'll be reading those. So please do them. Okay? Now, we are going to go into a Q&A next. I don't want to miss out on you guys. Let me... There we are. Hey, I was here the whole time, guys. Just wanted to pop back in. So, here you are. Good to see you again. Welcome. Let's do this. Drop a couple of questions in the chat. I know we're running up on time, and you've been very patient. A lot of you have families to get back to, but drop a couple questions, and we'll be there. Tell me what's going on. How you guys doing? What questions might you have? Eileen, God bless you all. Never, ever give up. Thank you. Thank you, Adam, for helping these couples. Adam always says there's always hope. There we are. Thank you. Anzi says, can't book. February is full. No dates are open. Send us an email, support@adamlanesmith.com. We will take care of you. If you have any challenges, any tech issues, anything goes sideways, please send us an email, support@adamlanesmith.com. Send us that. I'm going to type that email in chat right now. support@adamlanesmith.com. If you have any tech issues at all, send me an email, support@adamlanesmith.com. Send that. Okay? Send that email. We will take care of you. All right. What questions might you guys have? I got chat open right here. Hit me with it. What do you do in a crisis when your husband's avoidant and runs away angry, avoids intimacy by keeping distance? It's possible. There's ethical avoidant and there's manipulative avoidant. Learning to be able to manage your own nervous system, let them go away, initiate and invite for reconnection. And when they do come back, being able to have proper healthy boundaries, but from a calm, steady place. One thing I found quite often is a lot of times we spark and they take that as proof that they can't work with us. The calmer we stay, the better. But we also need to have proper boundaries and consequences for behaviors, not angry consequences. We usually do that and that's a mistake. We need to build proper boundaries correctly by having consequences that actually fit and come from a calm place. Then we can work together. This is not about caretaking or catering or pandering or parenting. It's about actually building a structure that works for both of you. What if one partner's traveling for work during one of the weeks of the program? What's really great is you don't have to be in the same room. You can actually zoom in from different rooms, different houses, different continents. We have couples zooming in from the calls from totally different locations. That is totally fine. Most of my couples are very intense working couples. That is totally fine. Absolute fine. How do you determine if you're anxious or dealing with trauma from betrayal? Sometimes it can be both. It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. I would go on my website, adamlanesmith.com, check my free attachment assessment quiz. It's on there, attachment style quiz. Take the free attachment assessment and discover if you're anxiously attached. It goes beyond just trauma issues and betrayal issues. It really does. How do you know if a couple is not recoverable? If they are even slightly willing to give a little bit of grace and kindness to their partner, even just a little bit, even if it's just to get something in return. If they're willing to do even a smallest trade of you do this and I'll do that and we'll trade for each other, right? Even if just a little bit is going there, that works. Even just a little bit, just the smallest amount, that works. Jeff King, I've tried to take your assessment. Didn't receive it. Can you complete a second time? Okay. Email. So you emailed support. Email us again right now, if you would, please. I'm going to jump in and make sure that we get you taken care of. Support is the number one stop to reach me and my team, guys. If you have challenges, please reach out to us. I'll make sure that this goes through. I'm tired of being avoidant, shutting down when she wants me to open up. That tells me that your system's going into what's called a dorsal vagal shutdown. Your system is shutting down. Now, you could be quiet, disorganized, or you could be avoidant, but when your system shuts down, that means you're overloaded, usually because you don't know what to do, and usually that means that you're stuck. You just don't know what to do yet. That's okay. You can learn that. Those are skills, but you can also learn to come out of the dorsal vagal shutdown and manage it differently. You can also do that. A lot of you are asking about the quiz. Send me email at support@adamlanesmith.com. Send an email to support@adamlanesmith.com. I will step in and try to make sure everybody gets taken care of. No matter what's going on, send us those emails. It's to enter you're entering the giveaway anyway, right? Put in that email about quizzes or any other challenges you might have, or even just questions you have. We are always reachable on support@adamlanesmith.com. Always. So there we go. I'm looking if there's any other last questions. Holy living waters. Can we fix? My ex is at the point of quitting. The I'm done moment. We've done a lot of this, try to fix this. 1.6 year post breakup. So you broke up 1.6 years ago. 1.6 years. Right at the moment of quitting. I'm done. can we fix? If both of you are willing to stop and say, maybe you're not the problem. Maybe our system is the problem. I'm willing to try something different today. I'm willing to give it one more shot and actually try. If both of you can just say that much, then a program, an actual program, can help you. You both have to be able to just say, maybe it's our system. I'm willing to try one small thing. Even that's enough. That's doable. The couples who can't come back are the ones who say, I'm not willing to try even one small thing. You go first and please me. You're the problem. Get out of my face. Those are the couples, the contempt, the disdain, and the enjoyment of their pain. That's where it's not workable. Honestly, that's where it's not workable. What's your favorite couple story built from the start or recovered? My favorite couple story? I had one young couple come into me and they had just discovered one of them was having an affair 2 weeks before they came into my office. And they were both very frustrated and scared. He was frustrated, she was frustrated. And they didn't know what to do because they didn't even know what the affair meant. Neither one, even the one that was doing it. And they didn't have any clue. They just were like, this isn't working. And by the way, they were halfway pregnant, having a baby, halfway through pregnancy. And through the work that we did together, in 4 sessions, deep training about attachment, about why affairs happen, it was an emotional affair, I should say, about why affairs happen, about why people lose feelings for each other and develop feelings for other people, why people feel like there's no hope, why they feel like no connection is possible. By learning that and then by applying it together, they actually discovered they both had really deep attachment issues, really deep. And they were so relieved, actually, to know that they were capable of loving and being loved. And then they got to learn that together and say, maybe our system's the problem. They didn't forgive everything instantly, but in 4 weeks, they were closer and safer and more loving than they'd ever felt, even as newlyweds, even at the very beginning. And that was just if you're tracking, that was 6 weeks after discovering an emotional affair. So the transformations can be incredible just from learning what's possible and learning that the partner that you're with doesn't actually hate you, learning that they actually might even love you. Absolute transformation, totally different. Now, I want to remind you, if you haven't entered that giveaway, email support@adamlanesmith.com with couples giveaway in the tagline. Tell me what you're looking to achieve as a couple. Tell me what's motivating you for applying. Tell me the ownership you're intending to take. Tell me the vision you're trying and willing to commit to. Okay, 3 couples are going to win a free spot in the Attachment Intensive Breakthrough, the Couples ABI. Winners will be announced tomorrow morning. The cycle ends with you. Make this the end. You promised each other here today that you were pattern breakers. You promised each other today that you make a difference. You gave a vow. That vow means something, you guys. That vow changes everything. Keep that vow. This is your chance. For this Valentine's Day, don't perform. For this Valentine's Day, prioritize real love. You'll see the difference it makes. Everybody, I'm going to see you in those emails. Support@adamlanesmith.com. I'm going to make sure you're taken care of. We're going to have that